Sharp Game here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And in this video, I'm going to tell you 12 things that you should know about dating women in America. And this is something that's very important because, you know, women that live in America, especially the ones that were born and raised here in America, are very unique compared to other groups of women around the world. And let's just set a couple ground rules. When I say dating women in America, that's exactly what I mean. Let's not get confused. I don't care if the woman came from Japan, China, Brazil, the UK, Russia. If she's living here in America, she's a part of what I'm talking about today. I don't care if she's been here for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. As soon as she stays here long enough, she's going to pick up those bad habits as well. She's going to become Americanized like overnight in some cases. So I know somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to say, my girl, she's from India. That doesn't pertain to her. If she's living here, if she's been living here long enough, she's going to pick up those bad habits. I've seen it. And this is just across the board. This ain't just one group of women I'm talking about. This is a collective group of women. As a collective. Because I've talked to probably every group of women in America. From all walks of life. From the street girls to the college girls to the working class girls. At this point in my life, I've met every type of woman you could imagine at this point. So I'm talking about, this pertains to everybody, every woman. So it's not about nationality. It's not about religion. It's not about culture. Not when it comes to America. Now, when they go back to where they came from, that's a little bit different. Because, where they came from, they have to abide by a certain code of conduct. They might be faking over there when they go back home, but they know the deal. Now, when women come to America, they're wide open. It's on and popping here because no one's watching them over their shoulder. And America is like the Las Vegas for everybody around the world. If you want to have a good time, come to America. If you want to sell your products, come to America. It's wide open here. This is the land of the free, as they say. Compared to the rest of these countries, But hey, let me get started. So, the first thing you have to know about women, man, is women, they lie a lot. I mean, and this is not a shot at women. I'm their biggest fan, but some of these women are reckless out here. I mean, and I know some of these women personally. They're reckless. I mean, they're one of the biggest lies, or one of the questions that a lot of women don't like to answer, is if you ask them, hey, how many guys you slept with? Oh, no, not like that. If you say, hey, how many guys you been with, or how many guys you slept with? Now, she'll say, I've been with like 7 guys. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I didn't ask you how many guys you're in a relationship with. I ask you how many guys you slept with total. They're like, well, it's 7 guys. There's some guys in there. I meant it. They didn't. 2 guys didn't count. I'm like, what? No, everything counts. And this is what I'm talking about. They'll do things, subtle, and sometimes it'll go over your head if you're not paying attention. Now, that's when I gotta rephrase the question. I say, how many guys you been with, even if it was a quickie, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? They're all. That number's a little bit higher than 7. I prefer not to say though. So this is what I'm talking about. If if you ask a woman, hey, how do you think this pants look on me? Or especially if another woman asks another woman, hey, how does my dress look? Even if it looks bad, she gonna say it looks nice. Then some people are gonna say, well, guys lie too. Yeah, but not like women. Women take it to the next level. Women will lie up to a point where it might be dangerous being around her, because a lot of women say that, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so I just prefer to lie to them instead. No, sometimes you can do more damage than just hurting feelings. So sometimes when you're around women, sometimes you got to read between the lines of some of the stuff they be saying. And as a matter of fact, I know a woman. I've been knowing her for like probably 7 years. Well, probably 7 years now. And sometimes when I see her, she'll start talking in third person, like she's talking about somebody else, but she's really talking about herself. So I'm sitting there listening to her talking, and I'm like, wait a minute, you talking about yourself? And then she'll smile. Well, she'll smile, and I'm like, come on, cut it out. You talking about you? And then she'll laugh or whatever, So you gotta be conscious of this, and gotta be aware of this. They just certain things they're not going to tell the truth about, and one of them is money. Money, that's one that's been pretty consistent, over the years. Money, and how many guys they have sex with, and the other stuff, the stuff they do that they got in the closet. Some of the stuff they're just not going to be honest about. I don't really. Some of the stuff it varies. The reasoning behind it varies depending on the woman. But it's just, you just got to be aware that way you won't get turned off, or that way you won't get caught off guard, anything like that. And you have to learn how to think for yourself, because if you listen to what they're saying, you got to take what they say with a grain of salt. You can't, you got to use your critical thinking skills, when you deal with a lot of these women, if you prefer to deal with them at all. So that's the first thing. And the next thing is, women don't fall in love with you, with your character, who you are as a man, what you stand for, your integrity, if you got any, or they fall in love with the stuff that's behind you in most cases. So if you're connected to some organization, military, a job, you're maybe a entertainer, athlete, or something like that. That's what turns them on more than anything. Now, if you're educated, if you wrote a book, if you sell stuff online, any of that stuff, that don't really turn them on. No, that doesn't really turn them on, because that stuff that I just named, being a writer, stuff like that, that's not really connected to a big corporation. That's not really connected to the machine. You know, that's like, for example, if I tell somebody, a woman, which I never do, very most of the time I don't. If I tell them, hey, I'm a writer, I got a big social media following online, and I got merchandise, and I'm independent. I never tried to get a book deal from a big brand. Not saying that I couldn't, I just never tried. That stuff doesn't necessarily turn them on. They'll say, oh, it's interesting or whatever, because it doesn't matter to them. Now, if I tell them, hey, I got a big publishing deal with Procter and Gamble, or Wiley, or a deal with Columbia, or a deal with somebody that's in the public eye, like somebody like Grand Hustle, T.I., Grand Hustle, they'd be like, oh, really? You see what I'm saying? That would get their attention, because women like, they like being around the movers and shakers. But not only do they like being around the movers and shakers, they like being they like things being associated with the status quo. And see, I don't want anything to do with the status quo at all. I'm like in the other direction totally. And anything outside of the status quo, to most women, is looked down upon. It's looked down upon like it's a scam, like you're doing something wrong. And then they start to shame you, and then they start to make it seem like you're crazy. And because most women, they use a lot of group thinking. And so if the majority rule, it has to be something that you're doing is wrong. A lot of women think like this, so you can be with a woman for months, years, and she might not know who you are as a person, because it doesn't really care in most cases. She might know a couple things about you and your family, but it could be very little. And even if you tell her some of the stuff about you, your past, how you grew up, your family, she's probably going to forget. You probably have to keep telling her over and over, because they don't listen very much. They love to talk, but they don't love to listen. Now there are some women out here that I've met, that I've known for a while. They remembered every goddamn thing I said. They remembered everything. And that's a good sign. If you meet a woman and if she can remember stuff that you said weeks, months ago, that's a good sign that she's probably into you. Because most women, they can't remember shit, that you might have said. They play, a lot of them try to play a role, but they usually get exposed after a while. So women usually fall in love with which of stuff that's behind you, or people or organizations that are attached to you, that don't got nothing to do with you. So just be aware of that. And the next thing is, women love sex. Now, sex is very, very important to a lot of women. Now, it might not be that important to you, but I'm telling you, sex is very important. You got women out here will risk losing their entire family for one night. Think about that. They will risk getting caught for one night. They'll risk their whole family and everything, just for one night with a different guy. Because they're not being fulfilled for whatever reason. And then the main reason why they're not being fulfilled is because you can't satisfy a lot of these women. They always want more. And in most cases, I'm not going to say most cases, I'm going to say some cases, they probably settled. They settle with a lot of guys that they get married to. Or if they're in a long-term relationship, they settled with the guy, didn't really had the best intentions, and over time, they probably got turned off. They didn't want to sleep with the guy no more. And they try to make excuses not to interact and be with the guy. Come up with every excuse in the book not to lay beside him at night and wait until he falls asleep or something like that. And then some relationships are open out here. And what happens in that case is the woman usually talk the guy into having an open relationship. And they'll become a part of some group, or they might even start a group. A lot of BDSM groups out here, or adult groups out here of couples, and mostly couples, and they'll have single men involved sometimes, So most of the time, these women, they run these groups, because women are sexually liberated now. So, they feel like, they can sleep with as many guys as they want with no consequences, without being judged and without losing anything, and they feel like guys shouldn't be able to say anything about them. And guys, not only they think guys shouldn't be able to say anything about them, they think guys should accept that type of activity. So that, women, they just crave sex. A lot of it. Probably more than you think. Probably more than you. It is what it is. I mean, I like sex too, but I don't like it as much as women do. No, I don't. No, I don't like it that much. It's so much other stuff I want to do that I'm working on. I can't have sex like that. Not all the time like that. Not as much as they want to. I be thinking if anyone's having a lot of sex, sometimes I be thinking that they got too much time on their hands. You need to take all that energy, or at least half of that energy, and put it towards something else. But they don't do that. Most women don't do that. Most people don't do that like a lot of sex. They don't do that, and that's part of the problem, because when it comes to sex, they're all excited, ready to go. And when it comes to something else that they should be doing for their family, for their kids, it's like the lazy, low energy, I'm tired. But you wasn't too tired when it was time to have sex, though. You see what I'm saying? We need to get our priorities straight. Get our priorities in alignment, So just be aware of that. So don't be surprised if you get with a woman and she cheats on you. You shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be blown away like, I can't believe you done this to me. You shouldn't be crying and all that. Come on. Stop it. What's the matter with you? Crying on the internet, making videos. You crying to your friends and family on the phone. Come on. Knock it off. What's the matter with you? It's not the end of the world. You don't own your woman. She just happened to be a person that's in your life. That's it. Happen to be a part of your life. If she just because she checked out on you mentally, that doesn't mean, that doesn't mean she's gonna leave you, physically leave you. She might physically leave you, but she's gonna check out on you at some point in time. So I guess you gotta pick your poison. Do you want her around physically? Or you want her to check out? Check in and out? Or she might just leave physically, period, and never come back. So I guess you gotta pick your poison. It's gonna happen. The longer you're together, the more of a risk it is for her to check out and never come back and leave physically and never come back. You know? Now there's always an exception to the rule. But hey, the purpose of me doing this video is to make you aware of who you might be getting involved with. That's all. So next thing is, a lot of women think that they're smarter than guys. And sometimes this is obvious to me because a lot of women think they can outsmart guys, outthink guys, outmaneuver guys. And sometimes it's true. Because what happens is a lot of us guys, we don't really have time to sit down and think as much as the average woman. See, the average woman has time to sit back and think, you know. But us guys, we're always working, trying to take care of the family, take care of the household. You know, a lot of women, they're always thinking about the weekend, thinking about the holidays, thinking about how she can manipulate you, how basically how she can stay ahead of you. Because in some cases, your woman is competing against you. But us guys, we don't really function like that. You know, we're not competing with our woman. I mean, we're not trying to one up our woman. We don't really think like that. We're thinking like the win-win. Most women don't think like that. They don't go for the win-win. They go for the me. Because the world has to revolve around her. So when you start talking a win-win, most women are going to be looking at you like you're crazy. You know, because they're very competitive, but they do it very subtle. They're very passive aggressive. You know, I remember like it's been times where I've told some women, I say, hey, when I meet people and if I decide to become friends with them or anything more, I always try to look for the win-win in almost every situation. And I had a couple of women started looking at me. Their eyes got big and started looking at me like I was crazy because they never heard anybody talk like that before. I mean, most women are kind of like looking to get as much as they can get out of you as quick as possible without her giving very little. You know, so that's how most women function, but I don't function like that. I deal with women on my terms because now some people might say, well, why is that? Because it's my life. That's why. And if you come into my life, if you want to be a part of my life, it's going to be my way. Because if it goes bad, the only person I can blame is my damn self. And if it goes bad, I'll chop it up and I'll learn from it and keep it moving. I mean, regardless of what happened, I'm going to take responsibility for it anyway. But what's worse is when I listen to what somebody else was saying about my life, how I'm supposed to think, how I'm supposed to live, and when it goes bad, and I call them up and say, yo, that didn't work out, bro. That you gave me some advice about what I should be doing with my life, how I should be thinking, where I should be living. It didn't work. So now I need your assistance. and then they're gonna be like, I don't know, I can't help you, bro. So, see, that's that bullshit, you know. So now I don't listen to any man or any woman when it comes to my life, because I'm an expert on my life. I'm not an expert on anybody else's life. I'm an expert on my life. I know what works in my life, because I've been living in my life much longer than anybody else, last I checked. So, my life, my game, my show. That's how I roll. So the next thing you have to be aware of is there's some women out here that want to be submissive to men. And I know they've taken the word submissive out of context, but it's not wrong with being submissive to a man. Now, here's the deal. Now, you have to be a certain type of man for a lot of women to be submissive to you. And mostly that's going to depend on materialism. That's what it's going to depend on. That's where it's gonna start and end. It's gonna be based on materialism. It's gonna be based on gifts, cars, house, people you know, trips, vacation, jewelry. You taking her out, you entertaining her. That's materialism. That's what it's gonna be based on. You know. It's not going to be based on sex, you know, in most cases. You know, it's not going to be based on that. Sex is just like icing on a cake, you know. Well, there's some women out here that are willing to be submissive to a man, but it's going to take a certain type of man, you know, for that. So just be aware of that. And then next thing is a lot of women have what I call fanboys. You know the type. These guys that kind of like butt kisses, really. You know, the type of guys that want to get with her in some type of capacity, you know, but she have these guys around. She know they want to get with her, but she'll keep them around because she just likes a bunch of attention. And women love attention. There's no such thing as too much attention. And they get attention everywhere. They get attention at work, on the internet, in the street, at the bar, at the restaurant, on vacation, at the resorts, at the mall. They get attention at the church, everywhere. You know. There's no such thing as too much attention. And now they try to act like they don't like the attention, but they do. You know, they try to be like, oh, he's harassing me. I thought he's hitting on me. No, they loved it. They love the attention. Don't fall for that. And next, you got the guy that they always have one male friend, more than likely, that, you know, they can call him up, cry on his shoulders when things don't go right. And this guy, if you ever get in a relationship with a woman like this, and if she got a male friend, this guy is not your friend. He's not on your side. He's not jumping up and down like a cheerleader, you know, supporting you with your woman. No, not at all. No, he's one of those butt kissing guys, basically, that he's trying to find something wrong with you so she can leave you, because in his mind, there's no other man out there better than him. That's what it is. You know, that's what it is in most cases. You know, because a lot of these guys are what some guys call a lot of these guys, they act like women, you know, really. A lot of them act like women, you know. And they just take the woman's side regardless of how irrational what she's saying may be, you know. So you just be aware of those type of guys that got I should say, be aware of these type of women that got a male friend on the side. Most women usually have one male friend that they can call for some advice. Now they might not even necessarily had a history of a relationship physically, maybe not, but just remember, keep in mind, this guy is not on your side at all. He's trying to find something wrong with you so she can leave you, or to bring chaos between y'all. Let's keep that in mind. So next thing, most women are insecure. And, a lot of times this is obvious. And the beauty industry is making billions upon billions upon billions of dollars yearly off women. It ain't nothing a woman can do to be satisfied with how she looks, because she doesn't like what she see when she look in the mirror. There's always something wrong. It could always be something better. She's never satisfied with her face, with her body, nothing. This is why the magazine business is such a good business. Because they look at these magazines at the store, and the more they turn the page, the more ugly they start to look. They'll see a woman in the magazine, and they'll be like, "Oh, I wish I had her eyeliners like her. I wish I had her lips. I wish I had her hips. I wish my butt was more round. I wish my feet were better. I wish my eyes were better." There's always something wrong. To you might look at her and you be like, "Man, I got a bad bitch. She's just the way I like her. Right size, right hip, right tits, butt, feet, legs, hair, not too much makeup." But that still ain't enough. It doesn't matter, because if she doesn't feel good about herself, it's all for nothing. It doesn't matter what you say. It still won't equate to how she feels about herself. So my thing is, if you don't like how you look, how in the hell you expect for me to like you? That's the question I always ask women. How in the hell you expect for me to like how you look if you don't like how you look? You cannot satisfy the majority of these women out here. I don't care what it is. This is why a lot of women, before y'all go anywhere together, she changed clothes 2, 3 times, 2, 3, 4 times. Before she go to work, she changed clothes 2, 3 times. So it is what it is when it comes to that. Just be aware of it. And the next thing is, women always want what they can't have. That's another thing. Now, it's something that I always this example I always use. Like if a guy has a buddy with a girl, maybe she's a nice girl, maybe he's seen her a couple times, and he'd be like, "Man, she's a nice girl. I want a girl like that." He probably won't say that to his friend directly, but he'll say that in his mind. Now, if a woman sees her friend with a man, and maybe she got to know him for a while, she's seen him a couple times, and she might think highly of the guy. A woman will say, "He's a nice man," but she said, "Hey, I want him, and I will do almost anything to get at least one night with him." So it's a different mentality. And she doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship with him. She just want to be with him in some capacity. Because women are very competitive like that. You know, they always want what they can't have. And this is why a lot of women have slept with married men out here. A lot of them have. Whether they knew about it or not. And the majority of times, they knew about it. They knew about it. They was down with it for a while. And a lot of times, a lot of married guys, this is how they get caught up. Because a lot of married guys will meet women and believe and take everything that they say. They'll be like, hey, I'm married or whatever. You know, I told her I was married and she was down with it. You believe that shit? Are you crazy? You know, eventually, the more time you spend around this woman, she's going to swear that she can take you away from your wife, you know, and your kids. And if she gets your phone number or if she finds out where you live, you might hear a knock to the door one day. Or she might call your house and ask for your wife. So a lot of married guys get caught up like this because they think that every woman is going to keep her word. She's down. I know a lot of married guys that I've talked to over the past 20 years. They really have a lot of faith in women that they're going to keep their word, that they're not going to change their mind one day. Yeah, right. And a lot of them have gotten caught up and got exposed and got put on blast. So this is what I've known guys that were single, wore a ring and acted like they were married just to be more attracted to a woman. They were playing like they were married, but they wasn't. And the reason why they did that, because they know, just like I know, that women want what they can't have. Which is kind of lame thing to do. You're perpetrating, but it works. So that's why they did it. They'll be like, hey, let me use your ring just for tonight. And they'll go to the club or wherever they go and act like they married. And women approach them. Say, hey, what's up? He's like, I'm married too. He's like, or you'd be like, hey, I'm married. He's like, you married? Yeah, I'm married. So what? We can still be friends. Yeah, like that. You know? So, hey, man, it is what it is. You know? And the next thing you have to be aware of is a lot of women are very confused about a lot of different things. So if you really pay attention to a lot of women, how they function in society, they're kind of all over the goddamn place. You know, I think the average woman today will do almost anything if she's in fear of losing her job, if she's in fear of not paying her bills, if there's some kickback, some type of benefit, or if she can get something out of whatever it is, most women will do it. Most women that I've met have slept with guys that they didn't like. Most women, not most women when it comes to this, most women have slept with guys that they didn't like today. It's some women that have slept with the boss at work because they thought, first off, let's back up a little bit. A lot of women like men of authority. That's the first thing. And a lot of women will sleep with the guy, you know, and then on top of that, a lot of women, somehow, it's kind of weird, will feel like once they start sleeping with the guy, that they have to keep sleeping with the guy because they feel like if I don't keep sleeping with him, I'll lose my job. And then you have some women that are plotting and scheming. Some women their whole intent was to sleep with the guy so they can go up the food chain, so they can get promoted much faster, so they can have so they can get favoritism, get promoted faster. They'll get treated much better. So it's that kind of woman too. This is why I say, a couple weeks ago I did a video talking about if you're in a supervisory position or management position, don't sleep with the women, because if it goes bad, it's gonna fall on you. You're gonna take the fall, because women are not gonna take the fall. The worst thing that can happen to a woman is she might get transferred, or they might let her go, and she'll move on, and that'll be it. But your reputation is going to be ruined. Her reputation is not going to be ruined. She'll just move on, and that'll be it. She get another job, and that's it. But if you're the owner of a company, your reputation and everything you work for is going to be destroyed and ruined. And she'll move on and get another job, and that's it. And a lot of times, a lot of these companies, if you work for a corporation, they don't want to be liable for anything. So they'll just let both of y'all go. But you, as the man, your reputation is still going to be ruined because of the policies and the laws is biased towards women in this country. Because they put women on the pedestal because women keep this economy going. And so there's a lot of politics when it comes to that. Women just get a slap on the wrist and they move on and get the next job. But you, it's going to be a whole different set of rules for you, buddy. So this is why I say you as a man is even more in your best interest to not sleep with the women in the workplace, because they're going to give her the benefit of the doubt anyway it goes. So just keep that in mind. Next, women like men of power. It could be just an evil man, a low down, dirty scumbag. They like, and it doesn't matter what the guy done. He might have had people killed. He might be from a different background than the average person. He might be somebody on television talking crazy. But regardless of what the guy says or what he's done, women will still flock to this guy. I mean, if you look at the president, for example, he said some stuff that a lot of people disagree. But a lot of women, they voted for this guy. So there's a reason why they voted for him, because he's in a position of authority. And a lot of women, like I said before, like being around the movers and shakers. See, a lot of women don't have any standards. Most women don't have any standards. They don't care about the family, the legacy, the kids. In most cases, they don't care about the kids either. They don't care about what happened last week. They don't care about what's going on in society. They don't care about a lot of things. They just care about living a certain lifestyle. That's the main thing. That's it. Anything outside of that, anything that doesn't pertain to them, if they're not getting something out, if they're not getting a tangible result out of whatever it is, they don't care. They only care when it affects them directly. Now, if it affects them indirectly, they don't care because they can't see it. don't see it. They don't see it that way. They can't see how laws and public policies can affect them indirectly. They can't comprehend that. They can't comprehend that. Now they can see if someone attacks them or a cop attacks them in some type of way. They can see that because that's right in their face. But if you tell a woman, hey, the reason why that cop felt the need to attack you, the reason why he wasn't afraid, because of the laws and public policies in this country. So the cops have the right of way. He gets the benefit of the doubt regardless. That's why I got attacked. They can't comprehend that. I mean, she'll be all nonchalant. I mean, because they don't really have empathy for you. I mean, the only way a woman will have empathy for anybody is if they're, in most cases, especially the women that come over here from other countries, is if the person is above status, celebrity, entertainer, or somebody that they really like. And the person that they really like is probably going to be of another nationality. More than likely. This is what I've been seeing. So, it is what it is. So you just got to be aware of this. You know? And the next thing, and the last thing, is women get very aggressive with certain men, especially if they have money or if they are above status. For example, I remember when I was in the Navy, and the Navy is the closest thing, if I'm not mistaken, this is just my opinion, the Navy is the closest thing to being a celebrity. Being in the Navy is the closest thing to being a celebrity. This is just my opinion. I don't know about the rest of the branches, but I know being in the Navy, I've never had women throw themselves at me and at other guys like that. I've never seen that anywhere in my life. Now I've never been around celebrities when they were around women, so I can't speak on that. But I've never seen women throw themselves at men like they do in the Navy. I mean, I was really shocked how far it can go, you know. Now I know I've heard rumors about entertainers or whatever, but I've never went back to a room with a lot of them guys, you know, after the club or after the event. So I can't speak on that. But just my experience, that's the closest thing to being a celebrity. Women are very aggressive, especially if they know you got money and you got a nice car, or you in a nice quote nice neighborhood, or you're attached to some company, or you're attached to a big brand or a well-known name or something like that, they get very aggressive. You know, there's this thing where it's kind of like a myth, really, that women don't approach men. Shit. They'll approach a man. Certain types of guys they approach. Now, if you're an average dude, you probably won't get approached very much by women. But if they think that you're a mysterious guy, or if they think you look like money, you might not necessarily have it, or you're above status, shit, they're gonna find you. They're gonna make it known that they're interested. I've seen it many times. You know, I've seen it. I saw it at the bar a couple days ago. I saw a white woman get up and introduce herself to this dude, a brother that I was sitting by, and he didn't know her from a can of paint. He said, "Nah, I don't know." He said, "I just met her when she came over here." So I've seen it, you know. So all those, you know, old rules of thinking, a lot of women aren't really living like that no more, because it's like, I don't know where you from, but where I'm from, you would almost never see a white woman approach a brother in public. That almost never happens where I'm from. I mean, it's like a white woman by herself approach a brother. When I grew up, that was like, that would never happen. But today, look, women don't care. All those rules that were passed down to them, man, look. Like I said, women have no standards. They do whatever they want, you know. As long as there's no consequences to their behavior, it's whatever, really, you know. And that's it. It is what it is, man. So you just gotta know what you're getting involved with out here. That's what it is, man. You know, and you're only as strong as the people you have around you. This is why I always say, if you're gonna get involved with a woman, you gotta deal with them on your own terms. Because if it goes bad, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. And you sleep better at night because you won't, there's a good chance you won't get caught off guard with anything, you know. But if you listen to everything that they're saying, if you let them dominate you, your way of thinking, your way of being, you put yourself at great risk. Great risk. It's almost guaranteed to go bad. And if you get with a woman and you let her talk you into changing who you are as a man, she's going to start to disrespect you, and she's going to cheat on you. And there's a good chance she's going to leave you for the same guy you used to be. I'm going to say that again. If you get with a woman and you talk her in to changing who you are as a man, she's going to cheat on you, and there's a good chance she's going to leave you for the same guy you used to be. and she's going to leave with the new guy, and she's going to do the same thing with him. And that creates a pattern. And then she's going to keep doing that until some guy stands up, or until she gets old and hit a wall and nobody wants her no more. You know? So hey, this video is starting to be a little too long now. You know, I just wanted to do this video, let you know what's really going on out here, man, before you get caught up in any situation. And I talk about a lot more of this in my book, Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. Check out my website, chooseyourrelationships.com. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/sharpgame. Leave your comments below if you got them. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook. Click the link below. I'm out. Peace.